You ever worry about somebody looking at your cell phone in a sensitive moment, going through security at the airport or entering a federal building, or even if you're talking to a police officer and something pops up that makes them wonder what you're up to? Do they have a right to look at your cell phone, to check your text messages? Alex Del Carmen is the Associate Dean of the School of Criminology, Criminal Justice, and Strategic Studies at Tarleton State University. He joins us now. Alex, I read with interest this case in Florida where a guy had his cell phone out and it was on the lock screen, but a text message popped up that said, "OMG, did they find it?" And the police said, "Hey, we're going to check your phone. Give us your passcodes." He refused. How did this play out?
Well, good morning, John, and thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Well, essentially what happened was that the young man that was arrested, as you said, this message popped up, and then the police wanted to have access to his phone. So they asked him for the passcode, and he refused. And so as a result of that refusal, he was found in contempt, and he ended up serving over 40 days in jail.
Wow.
As a result of that.
And what was the circumstance? I mean, was he already pulled over? Or, remind me what the deal was.
Right. So they pulled him over and they found some marijuana in the vehicle. And so as a result of that, they proceeded to arrest him on the marijuana charge. And then, subsequent to that, they found the cell phone, and that's where this message popped up. And they wanted to have access to it. They felt that they had information in there that they could use against him.
So what are the general rules that have been established in this modern age where everybody does have a cell phone, and boy, there's a heck of a lot of information about all of us on these cell phones? Do police need a warrant? Is there a way for you to assert your rights as you might in a search of your vehicle or your home or other personal property?
Absolutely. So first of all, the police does require a warrant in order to be able to access the cell phone. There's actually a Supreme Court case where the Supremes were pretty adamant about the fact that you preserve the rights of privacy on the cell phone as you would in a home. And so as a result of that, you do need access to that. What's complicated the issue now is the fact that we have facial recognition devices, and we also have codes that are entered on the cell phone, which in the eyes of some of the judges that have actually contemplated these cases, they're saying that that's a little different in the context of expectation of privacy as a regular cell phone access would.
What? So if you have facial recognition, you're giving permission for someone to hold it up to your face and gain access? That's a green light?
Yeah, so I underscore the word some, not all judges, but some judges actually would see that as being more permissive and less of an expectation of privacy as you would without it. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
So what is your advice? I mean, I'm assuming that almost everybody in this audience would not be up to something that would be shady or illegal and would just want to protect their privacy. But what is your advice for anyone when it comes to safeguarding your privacy as it relates to your cell phone?
Right. So, I mean, I think that most people that are honest, decent, law-abiding citizens, they wouldn't mind their cell phones be looked at. But at the same time, that's not the issue, right? The issue is, does the government have access to your privacy through your cell phone? And in your cell phone, we keep passwords. We keep a lot of confidential information. And so as a result of that, the question is, does government have access to it without a warrant? And the answer to that is no. If my children were to ask me, should I allow a police officer to access my cell phone? My answer would be no. It would be, let them go through the process and obtain a warrant in order to be able to get that information. And ironically enough, I trained thousands of police officers in Texas, and I can tell you a lot of them would tell me exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Now, going back to the original case that I referenced on the front end, was the linchpin in that something actually popped up on the screen, which then gave the police officer probable cause to check the phone? I mean, is that where that went? Or?
Right. So that's the argument that the police had made, which is they actually saw a message popped on the phone. And so as a result of that, they felt that he was inviting them to search the phone because they have PC or probable cause in order to search the contents of the phone. But but the young man felt that, what, I've got information in there I don't want them to see. I'd rather serve my time in jail than to be able to give you access to it.
Really interesting. Boy, the modern world world solves problems and then creates problems. And, of course, the main thing is keep yourself out of situations where you might be vulnerable to that, I suppose. Alex Del Carmen, the Associate Dean of Criminology at Tarleton State University, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.